You're listening to Unseen, Queer Millennial Life Unfiltered. So I think we should tell you who we are and why we're here. My name is Laura Lee Abbey. I have been writing for most of my adult life. I've been oversharing my experiences as a woman, as a queer woman, as a mom. I think that we have reached an age where we're being left out of the conversation.
And my name is Erica Bacon. I am also a millennial. I was born in 1982, so I'm actually on the cusp of being Gen Xer. However, just want to say we're not leaving Gen Xers out of the conversation. You are very important to us. I think the important thing is that the reason why we decided to do this podcast is because there was a voice left out.
Anna, I'm so excited to chat with you. Thank you so much for being with us today as our first guest on Unseen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay. Okay, so you are like an all-around badass. You're a performer. You're a millennial. You've really fucking been through it. And that's why I'm excited to just like get into it with you. But for anyone who doesn't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Anna. I am a writer, actor, filmmaker, and according to some, a comedian. I'm from Chicago originally. I moved to New York City when I was 18 to go to film school at NYU. Graduated in 2006. I was either choosing between staying in New York City or going to LA. And I ended up getting an internship at Saturday Night Live when I was actually still in college. So that was a damn good reason can I swear?
Fuck yeah.
Damn good reason, in my opinion, to stay in New York City. So I've been here since 2006 and still going strong. Definitely a different person than I was back then, that's for sure.
This is a conversation that I feel like I'm having with so many of my millennial friends. It's like, we've been through too much and now we're tired, but we're all trying to kind of reinvent ourselves in our 40s, right? Without, I don't know. I didn't think that was the plan. Like, what did you think? Did you think by the time you were this age that you would just be in a completely different place than you are now?
I mean, yes, but not in a specific place because I was never the kind of person to plan my life. Like some people dream about their wedding or they dream about their future family stuff. I never, it's not that I didn't want those things. I just didn't have a vision for that. I didn't think about that. I was kind of more immediate. I was like, I enjoy basketball and writing and acting and filmmaking. These are the things I'm focused on right now. It was like 5 years ahead of me was probably about as far as I envisioned. But I definitely thought, one day I would like to be in a partnership, whether that's, a marriage or not. And I would like to have children and all those things. But I never was like dead set on a specific plan for myself. And also, I moved to New York when I was 18, and that's kind of when you're finding yourself. I don't know tell me if you guys have experienced this as well, but I know at least living in New York City, it felt like every 4 or 5 years, I was living a completely different life. Like, not that I was such a different person, but it's just so much changes in that period of time that you feel like you're living these just different chapters.
It's like every 5 to 7 years, your entire world changes. Either you're living in a new space or you're with new people, you have new friends, or it's some level of like having children or a new job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it. But I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the audacity to want to get into the entertainment industry? Because it seems like you said you didn't have a vision for your future, but that feels like that's a vision.
Yeah.
Like getting a sociology degree from a state university,
I think I came out of the womb with audacity. When I was a kid, I did not stop talking. I think up until maybe about 6th grade, I was constantly in trouble. I loved attention. I just, I knew I was like, I want to be an actor. I want to make people laugh because that was how I was getting attention, was making people laugh. So up until about, I would say, high school, I thought I was going to be an actor when I grew up. And then I met a filmmaker on vacation one year, and she was basically like, acting is great and everything, but the most important thing you can have is a degree in something, writing or something of that sort. So she kind of pushed me more towards the academic side of it, towards the other side of the camera, the filmmaking side. But to answer your question about audacity, I don't know. I guess I was just a kid that liked attention.
There's also when you're creative, it's just in you. Like I look back, I'm like, who told me to go get a creative writing degree, right? Like what the fuck did I think I was doing with that? But I just did it because that's what I was just always going to do. And I think that when you're a creative person, you kind of don't question, does this make any sense at all?
The people around you when you're growing up are so important. You know, my parents were very supportive about anything that I was interested in. So they didn't try to dissuade me from doing it, I think, which was a privilege. Not everyone is afforded that. So I never thought it was something. I never thought of it as audacity. I was just like, this is what I love to do. Why would I not do what I love?
Right. Well, also, even like talking about being young and living in New York City, it was like our friends were our family. I just was always, I lived on the Upper East Side. You lived in Brooklyn because you were so much cooler. But
well, no, not in the beginning.
Not in the beginning. Okay, that's true. I think by the time I met you, we've known each other for over 15 years, probably. You were really friends with my wife, and I just swooped right on in there. That's what I like to do. But just having your friends around all the time and being able to see them all the time, that's just such a thing when you're young. That now we've reached an age where, for many of us, that has also become unrealistic. It's like that thing where we're like, I miss you too. Let's put something on the calendar. And it's suddenly you're like, wow, I've seen you twice in a whole year. Are we really that fucking busy? Right. So that was like such a time to just be young. And even like for us having New York City as our backdrop to just run around with our friends and do it all. It was a good time.
It was the best. It was the best. Yeah, it's true. When you get older, you don't see your friends as much for whatever, families, jobs, whatever reason it is. For me, I mean, I feel like I was married and I'm now divorced, and a very big chunk of my friends were shared in that marriage that I'm not friends with anymore. So that was a huge loss.
How does it shake out when you get divorced? Is it very clear right away, like who's going where?
I think it's different. I think it's different in every scenario. I think I can only guess from my side of it, because I can't speak for other people. I can only say from my side. But what I would guess is that there were people that did not want to get involved in goings on, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know whether they were forced to choose a side or whether they just didn't want to be in the middle of stuff. That just kind of literally one day, when you're like, oh, I did something for the last time and I didn't even realize it.
Oh God, yes.
30 people I could think of that I just overnight would never talk to again.
Yeah.
But I would still, but.
Right.
Yeah.
When we've reached an age where some of our friends are getting divorced, I choose sides very clearly.
Same.
I'll choose
a side.
I'm very clear about my side choosing. So, you're welcome to all of you who get me as a leftover.
Lucky to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So you're working on SNL, like fucking dream job. Walk us through what happens next, Anna.
And also who was on the set at that time.
Yeah, because you were going to some of those parties.
At every party, I was there. There were no rules back then. I was like one of the last years that they just were still partying and not being super strict about who they let in the door. I was there 2004 through 2008. So Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader, Andy Samberg.
It was so good.
Will Forte was there.
Is that when Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did the
she was there.
update?
She was there when I first started. Yeah. She left during my time there, but she was there in the beginning. Tina Fey was there. So many incredible female comics. So lucky to work around it. Actually, the person who got me that internship was Aubrey Plaza.
Can you tell us how that happened again? I feel like it's a good story.
We had acting class together at NYU, and she was going to go study abroad and asked me to fill in for her internship while she was gone. And I said, yes.
Okay.
Yes, like, I will do that for you.
And then no one ever heard from her again. So big mistake, Aubrey.
Yeah. It's funny because she was a year older than me. So she left and I took her internship. And I remember at the time thinking, man, I got out good here.
I'm so lucky. But you
how the turns have tabled.
how they have. But I think it worked out for both of you actually in the end.
Yeah. That's just great.
Let's talk about the big C. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Cancer.
Yeah. So where are you in your career when this happens?
I had it twice. So that's why I have to like stop for a second and think about the years here. So yeah, I left SNL in 2008. And then there was a good chunk of time where I was working as a freelance art director. And in 2016, that's exactly what I was doing when I was first diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. I was really scared to tell anyone that I worked with and for about it because I didn't want to lose out on work. Because when you don't have this alleged safety of working for a company, you don't know if people are gonna be like, well, I don't want to hire that sick person, you know?
Right.
I was going through treatment and working at the same time, and it was really difficult. But then it kind of gave me a little kick in the ass in a good way to pivot my career a little bit because I was like thinking about my own mortality and I was like, do I really want to be doing production design for the rest of my life, or do I want to be writing and directing more? You know, I knew what the answer to that question was, otherwise I wouldn't have that question. So it kind of gave me that like kick in the ass to start doing that, and ended up writing for a web series called TAWK with Awkwafina. And then after that, I got a job writing for the Howard Stern show. And that is where I was working the second time I was diagnosed in 2018.
Something I've always appreciated about you is I feel like cancer comes with so many platitudes. And everyone kind of looks at this as like fighting for someone and pink ribbons. And I feel like you were very fucking real about it. About the actual physical day-to-day. This is misery. I'm not going to let you put on rose-colored glasses over what I'm going through, right? You've been very real. And I feel like that's happening more and more with people because it just used to be like, she's a fighter. And again, that's such a millennial thing too. We were raised by boomers. We are not supposed to talk about how we're really feeling. And so when you're going through something like that, you're just supposed to smile and be like, yeah, it's going to be okay. Yeah, I have the best friends and family. I'm being cared for. But I feel like you were just straight up honest about it.
Well, it's like, who is that for, right? It's for other people so they don't feel uncomfortable around you. But it's when you are going through treatment and you're that sick, it is impossible to put that on for that long. You know, chemo is no joke. It is the absolute hands down worst thing I have ever been through in my life. It is poison. I mean, it saves a lot of people. It saved me, but it is literally you're poisoning yourself to get better. So yeah, I don't know if it was me trying to make a stand or do anything on purpose, or if it was me just truly being that sick.
Yeah. I think it was you just being you going through the worst thing.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah, it was tough. I got a double mastectomy as well. So I lost both of my breasts and I got reconstruction, which is not a boob job for anyone who still says that. It's not.
Not a boob job.
Not a boob job. I feel like I have 2 half coconuts in my chest right now.
That's another thing you were very honest with me about, because I feel like when your new boobs were pretty fresh, I was like, well, what's this like? They look good. And you were like, it's fucking awful.
Well, it's also some people get post-mastectomy pain syndrome, which I got. And it's still to this day, they're painful. I think about going flat sometimes still, or I think about getting a revision surgery. That's a whole other, I needed a break.
Yeah, when your body's been through that much, nobody wants to jump back into it, right?
No, I just wanted to be done with hospitals. Also, I could tell that my partner was over it. As much as I was over it, I could also see on them that it was not, talk about plans. I don't think it was part of the plan that they had or that anyone has. And I think that that's also hard too, because you're trying to move on and heal when maybe you're not ready physically or mentally to do that. Yeah. It's rough.
This is a surprise. It's a therapy podcast. No, but this is something that I learned during a difficult time in my life when I was like, things can't get worse. And then things got worse. I think there is, for any of us who've had a pretty easy life or feel like we've ever been in any way privileged to suddenly face trauma or difficulty and then think like, oh, that was hard. And then surprise, something bad happens on top, like the layering on. I don't know, for me, I was like, can the universe do that? And discovering that, in fact, the universe can, it's one of those really difficult lessons to learn in life, right? You have gone through cancer twice. Why are all these other bad things also happening? What the actual F, right?
Yeah. There's no fair. I think that was one of the big lessons I learned. Fair does not exist. That's not a real thing.
There's no fair. Nobody owes you anything. You just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people.
So many good things are happening to bad fucking people, guys. Why?
I don't know. I think that'll come around. I do believe in karma.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to, right? That's all I got.
Okay, so you get your rocks in your chest and you're like, talk about audacity. I am now going to do the things like I really want to do.
Yeah. Well, also like my confidence took a really big hit because talk about identity loss. I didn't realize when I went through chemo, I lost my hair. I lost the breasts in the surgery, ended up having my ovaries removed because it was estrogen receptor positive cancer. So it was either, be on this medication that shut my ovaries down or get them removed. So like I lost what physically and mentally I had been defining me up to then. I did not realize how much of my identity had been tied to my physical appearance. And I hated myself for that. I didn't want to think I was that shallow. I didn't realize how much and also like, I don't know if this is because I'm a Scorpio, but that my sexuality was my superpower, right? Like, and also like when you admit that to yourself, you start to think back on like, well, how much did I get in my life from that? And then like, how much of what I have now is justified based on my talent or my this or my that,
Yeah.
And it's not just, it has nothing to do with me thinking I was like hot or anything. It's just
you were and you are.
Oh,
just deal with it.
It's just, I had a moment where I passed a mirror and I was bald and sick looking. And I freaked out because I was like, you don't think of yourself that way. And then, you're like, I'm still me in here. And then you see what you physically look like. And it was a really like scary eye-opening moment.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's super interesting. Like, how is the relationship with your body now, knowing what you know and having to like reframe your idea of femininity, your idea of sexuality and what makes you attractive? And it feels like that may be a turn into your comedic edge because anybody who's funny is pretty hot.
Yeah, I agree. I think funny people are so hot. Well, I was doing comedy before this. I was in a sketch and improv group called Candy Slate Comedy. But I think when you go through things in life, it gives you more of a basis to actually speak from experience. So with stuff like comedy, that I think the best comedy is based in pain and laughing at things that if you don't laugh at, it'll kill you. Like, it allowed me to get there with it. I really felt like I found my stride and things to talk about afterwards. Yeah.
Because going through bad shit, wow, at the very least, you've just got an arsenal now.
Yeah.
And so much material.
So much material. And, not all of it's dark and stuff, but I feel like I'm able, my writing is better. As a writer, I'm sure you draw from experience.
100%. Yeah. So tell us, you've had some huge projects, I feel like. recently. Would you say this has been a big year for you? Tell us.
Oh, acting wise, yeah. So I really missed acting, and I that was the thing. It was the second time I got cancer. I was like, well, what is this kicking me in the ass to do now this time? When I was sitting there, like, after all that, I lost my hair, my breasts, my ovaries, my wife, my house, my dog, my first boyfriend from high school died from cancer at the same time I was sick. And then I eventually lost my job. So like sitting there with basically not nothing, but proverbial nothing. I was like, this is my chance to just do what I have been wanting to do, because what else do I have to lose at this point? And that was acting. So I spent a year with an acting coach, and my friend was amazing enough she had written a role for me in a feature film, actually like years before all this. And it came together right at that time. We shot it in Colorado, was able to use that to put together a reel, got an agent and a manager, and yeah, started booking some co-stars, some other roles.
Yeah, what can you tell us? What can you share with us?
Yeah, it was very surreal to be put into that world. When you're just like plopped down into the Sex and the City world, you're like, well, what am I doing here? It's real. It was really wild.
Tell us what age your character was.
I believe on the script she was 25.
I love that for you.
It would never happen to me.
Why not?
I'm either a 13-year-old boy or a 43-year-old woman. Like, there's no in between.
I love that. That's versatile, though. That's versatile. And you could put, you know what, on your resume, if you want an actor, you could put like that age as a range.
Right.
I know. It's great.
All ages, all genders.
Amazing.
But the hair flip will be there.
Hermie, my next Hermie, the live character.
Yeah.
I'd go see it. Okay. So you've got an episode of I Keep Wanting to Say She's All That. You've got an episode of
wait, I have to know though, like who are your scene partners in this? Because I'm trying to picture you as I know you.
Yeah.
And then in that world, so like paint me a picture so I can get
Miranda, Charlotte, and then I have a co-star who is an employee at the salon with me.
She works in a salon in this episode. Tell us about the cancer show.
Oh, the cancer show.
The cancer show.
Dying for Sex. Yeah. Yeah. That was based on an actual podcast. And my friend, it was a writer on the show. She had asked me, and she'd asked another breasty friend to come into the writer's room to just chat for, a potential episode. They're going to do a story arc that didn't end up happening. So we contributed in the writer's room, and then I emailed her and I was like, hey, I'm getting into acting and just saw that they're casting. Would you be open to me giving you my headshot and my resume? And she was, and she passed it along to the showrunners, and they brought me in for an audition. And yeah, I mean, it's a tiny role. If you blink, you'll miss me, but
no blinking.
You're
awesome.
I saw you.
You got me the
I saw you. Tell us what a breastie is.
Oh my God, a breastie is a magical human being. Breasties are a nonprofit foundation for people who have had gynecological cancers or who are previvors of gynecological cancers, which means they have the genetic makeup to potentially get it in the future. So yeah, they call it, we're broken down to like previvors, survivors, which is what I would be, having gone through it, thrivers, who are stage 4, who are currently going through it, through metastatic cancer. Yeah.
I feel like that group has been amazing for you.
They're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. They do camps every summer. They do retreats. There's meetups in cities all over the country. I went to camp this summer. I've gone the past couple of years, and it's so nice to be around people that get it.
Yeah. Did you feel like, as a queer person going through cancer, do you feel like it impacted any part of that?
I mean, it gave me an excuse to have a different hairstyle.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know if I'm answering this question correctly, but like it helped answer questions that I had in my marriage, which was like, we were gonna try to have children, and like, who's gonna carry the child? And then that decision was made for us. You know, I was called a dyke for the first time by a stranger, well, by anyone really, but by a stranger on the subway because of my hair not being short, which was wild. It was frustrating because my hair, like some people can buzz their head and like they just have it grows out and they just have fun with it and they can like style it at any point in time. But like mine just had a mind of its own and did what it wanted. So it was kind of like my hair was in charge. I was along for the ride. I don't know. It's just hair though, right? At the end of the day, it's just, I've always had that feeling about it too. And I know that contradicts what I said about identity, but when I was in my 20s and, partying a lot, I used to let a friend cut my hair when she was drunk because I was always just like, it's just hair.
Yeah.
You know?
Until it becomes more than that, until it becomes part of your identity, right?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the choice aspect. It's when choice is taken away from you. That's when, control, when you lose control.
Right. Like if I'm going to let my drunk friend cut my hair, that's a decision I'm making.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone called you a dyke on the subway. What did you do?
Yes. I told this in one of my stand-up sets. I was rushing to get onto the F train one day. It was stalled in the station, but you don't know that until you get up to it. Just you like run up to it like an idiot.
You feel like an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, hold the doors. And everyone's like, you dummy. It's not going anywhere. So I was running up to the doors and there was this guy bent over in the doors and he was like, it taking up the entire doorway. So I just said, excuse me, sir, do you mind, scooting over so I can get in? And he slowly stands up and I'm just looking at him and he looks like he's a spitting image of Iggy Pop. He's just this long-haired, roady, kind of leathery skin, like just cloud of whiskey poured out of him when he stood up. And he looked me up and down and just said, dyke.
Creative.
And because again, my hair at that time was very, very short was just growing back. I think at that time I might have had a beanie on. I don't know. I digress. He stood up and he called me a dyke. And then everyone on the train just was silent and they're staring at us. They were like, look at him and look at me like, what is about to happen here? And I just started laughing. I don't know why that was my response. You never if you imagine that moment in your head, you're like, what would I do in that situation? But I think it caught me by surprise so much to the point that that was my reaction to it, was laughing. Because inside I was just like, yes, I am. But he doesn't know that. And this is how it happened. I had to get cancer for this to finally happen. So he's like, what's so funny? And I go, wait, sir, I'm just curious, why did you call me that? He's like, I don't know. I just get that vibe from you. Like, is that because my hair? Like, yeah. I'm like, well, I had cancer. It's like, I had so wrong to drop that on people. But when someone's back like that to you, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Kind of deserved. Yeah, thank you. And his whole tune changed. I like to say I was no longer a dyke. I was now a cancerita in his eyes. He's like, my aunt had cancer, my grandma had cancer, but blah, blah, blah. The stories that people say when they're commiserating about the big C. And then the train never went anywhere, just stayed in the station. So we all got out and he's following me and he's like, thank you so much for talking to me today. You really changed how I'm going to act and look at everything. I'm like, thank you so much, sir. I'll tell my wife you said so. I walked away before he could respond.
I do remember that story. It's such a good one.
Yeah, I like to hope that he changed his views on queer people that day, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him too much credit. There's also this, and it's such a female thing too, of this whole, when men talk about the way they treat women, like, how would you treat your sister or your mother? And it's like, what if you just treated someone like a human because she is a human? Why must you have a sister or a mother to not be a dick?
Right?
It's just so, Oh, yeah.
Kindness. But that's all that really matters too. Like, when you go through things that challenge your views on mortality and control, you're like, what is my purpose here and what's really important? And I still don't know at the end of the day, but I think kindness, if I had to choose one thing, it would be kindness.
All right. Before we run out of time, you touched upon this last night we were chatting, and it was such a good point you were making about millennials and our relationship to technology and stuff.
But were we the last generation that grew up pre-internet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have the pleasure and also the terror of that, because on one hand, we had this childhood that was just so magical and we're outside a lot. But on the other hand, it's harder for us to keep up with technology now because it's just growing at such an exponential rate. And we can't grasp that, people that have grown up with it, that this is just how it is. This is the world. But I think there's a part of us that's still longing for simpler days of Oregon Trail.
Yeah. And Nokia phones.
Yeah.
It is weird because I was solidly in, I think, my second year of college before Facebook and social media. I remember Instagram existing when I was a full-on adult living with Sam in the city. I am so glad I didn't have any of this in high school. I am so, so grateful for that. But also, yeah, it's moving too fast for me, and I'm so set in my ways with my elderly views of tech.
Must be just so young because I'm into it.
I know you are.
I'm so into it.
You've embraced it.
You're into what? You're into specifically, what are you into?
I'm curious about AI.
She loves AI, and I'm always like, fuck AI.
I know. Okay, to be clear, I know it's going to ruin our world. I'm dystopian in that way. I get it. However, know your enemy a little bit, right?
Right, but as a writer who...
It's not about writing.
Okay.
It's more like...
Shut up. My whole life is about certain things. And part of my life is as someone who has been told, I don't have to pay you to write anymore because now I can just use ChatGPT.
Well, they're dumb.
Well, that's a lot of people. Anna, help me out here. Do you want acting to be replaced and writing to be replaced by AI?
Absolutely not. But I am curious. It's not that I hate tech. I think I'm overloaded right now. I think I'm reaching the point with it where it's the dopamine center is depleted.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Complete burnout.
Yes.
Yeah.
The burnout is real.
I was a late bloomer when it came to emojis.
She's shaking her finger like an elder millennial.
For me, and that's the only way I can communicate
I'll
now.
forever use a crying laughing face emoji. I don't care how much that ages me.
So the crying face is bad now, yeah.
Yeah, it means you're old.
Does it?
Yeah.
I could give a shit.
I don't know. But you can create your own emojis now.
I don't know how to do that.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you created a gay one.
I know.
I think I was able to copy and paste
What'd you create?
A gay smiley face with its, I don't know, something.
It was cute.
What's a gay smile?
I can't do it. I can't turn into an emoji. If I were an emoji, I'd have
What are you picturing?
It'd be a rainbow smiley face with my tongue hanging
Yeah,
out.
I think it was probably just a rainbow smiley face, but it was gay to me.
If I had a neckerchief, it would be the perfect emoji.
Yeah. Oh, a neckerchief emoji.
Amazing.
That would be good.
Well, but then you have to get into the what are the colors, because that signifies specific thing.
It's so complicated.
A lot of rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of rules. I'm very burned out on social media right now, but I do need to get back into posting because it is how we survive,
how we communicate.
Oh my God, it is.
Yeah.
Especially, again, as someone who wants to be relevant, you're like, oh, now I have to go make a reel.
Yeah, I think the struggle for us right now is obviously starting this podcast. We've now completely understood that we need to also be on YouTube.
So something that we talk about in the reason we created this podcast is we feel like, as queer millennial apparently is the okay way of saying that we're middle-aged, right? Women, there are all these conversations now that we don't get to be a part of, right? Nobody is talking to us, with us. And so perimenopause comes up a lot because even many of us who are in our 40s now or approaching our 40s, my female doctor wouldn't have that conversation with me. And so as someone, to go back to you having had cancer twice and what your body went through, you're actually way ahead of us for your age. Congrats on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I win. I got menopause early. Oh, what a prize.
Trendsetter. Overachiever.
It sucks. Menopause sucks. And I can't even speak to perimenopause because I just bypassed that whole thing. I went straight into it. But the first time I went through treatment, they put me on tamoxifen, which basically the way they explain it is that like your ovaries produce estrogen, and then you have areas that it binds to. So like it's producing. If you think about it, it's like producing keys, right? And then you have locks all over your body that take the estrogen in, and so the tamoxifen basically plugs the locks. And if I'm explaining this wrong, and there's a doctor watching on listening, you feel free to yell at me. Tamoxifen plugs locks. The Lupron that I ended up having to be on, and then also having ovaries removed, it was basically at that point they were like, we got to just stop the key production altogether because it's just too risky. But then I also take an aromatase inhibitor as well every day to plug the locks for any errant estrogen that may be floating around my body. Yeah, it sucks because like they don't, at least for me, and like I know that just for people in the world, like if anyone should have been explained to about the positive effects of estrogen in your body, it should have been me with a doctor going through that. But just women and non-binary and people in general that produce estrogen, hormones control everything. Your mood, they keep you young in so many ways, like lubricated, your joints stay lubricated. I have osteopenia now. I have a bunch of back issues. My bones are brittle. I probably will have osteoporosis. The earlier you go into menopause, the more at risk you are for heart issues earlier in life. And I don't know where you both are in your journeys, but like it changed me fundamentally as a human being because when your hormones change that you're not so, I didn't realize how not sex obsessed I was before, but just like, probably normal human baseline sex obsessed. But once that goes away just a tad, you have room to like be into more things. I actually got into math.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm obsessed with you. Once I was less obsessed with sex, I started doing math problems.
I mean,
yeah.
That's a great hobby.
I need more context.
How does one get into math?
Okay, so
would you like to tutor?
But like, what are we wearing when we're doing math is what I want to know. Because I just feel like the gap is so big.
A lacy
what I'm wearing. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but it's like you don't realize how much of your brain is like, especially I would assume for like people on testosterone too, like you don't realize how much of your brain is just horny so much of the time. And when you start to have, when your hormone production goes down or is not being taken up as much as it used to be, you just have more room to think about other things. So I don't know if I was never like terrible in math, but like I wasn't, I was working hard to get B's in school in math. And then I just was like, oh, I like sit and focus on this now. This is crazy.
So what are you doing, like math worksheets?
No. It was a short-lived focus. It's more of like, it's like an appreciation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just room there to have something else exist for you. I'm just, math is,
it makes
I'm happy for you.
dating different too.
How?
Thank you so much. Yeah. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, everything about menopause fucking sucks so much. And I can't speak on perimenopause because like I said, I didn't go through that. I don't know if the symptoms are like lesser because they're spread out over time, but mine were literally like surgically overnight. Just boom, like hot flashes, joint pain, mood swings. That was another hard thing too. Like try having, issues in a marriage and then going through a divorce while you're like newly postmenopausal. That was the ride.
Jeez. I've always had mood swings, so no one's surprised.
You're going to be murderous. No, that might be.
Wait.
I'm going to record you.
Maybe someone will actually try to start helping women in the next few years get through it.
Perhaps not.
Yeah, not in the next 30.
No, we're kind of going backwards.
Yeah, you're right.
So go back to the dating thing. Like, what makes it different about dating?
Yes.
Well, you're dating now having been married. You're dating now having been through cancer. You're dating now as a woman over like you're and a woman who's gone through menopause. Like you're dating as a different person.
Yeah, it's different in that. Well, in the beginning, I was just sleeping around a lot because I was like, emotionally crushed and devastated, and that was my way of coping with it. I wouldn't say like sleeping around a lot, but I was definitely, I was like having one night stands and stuff and dating a lot. And then it was like, the only thing that is going to help me right now is to focus on me, not like in a selfish way, but just like, I need to get to know myself. Up to that point, when I was separated, I'd never lived alone in my life. I didn't know how to, I was codependent. I lacked boundaries. I didn't understand that I needed boundaries for myself. I didn't have the self-awareness and presence that I needed to have to show up the way that I wanted to as a human. So I needed to like take a step back from it all. But yeah, I got to know myself. So now it's like a slower process, right? But it is what you mentioned. It's hard because I have to, every time I meet someone new, I have to measure like how much of myself and my story do I share with them and when and how. Like, it's, because that's like attention and energy is a gift that we give to people, and it can be draining. So to have to do that over and over again, it's exhausting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, luckily the people that I've dated have all been pretty incredible humans. No complaints there, but it's stressful. Like it is and then also like my chest, right? I have to explain to them why I don't have nipples. That's how does that come up over dinner? Maybe one day I'll have tattooed ones or reconstructed ones, but for now I've held off on that because I don't know exactly what I want to do in terms of reconstruction.
Oh, I have a question for you. What's your baseline? My baseline is agitated. Like I'm just always agitated. What's your baseline these days?
These days, it's tired. My baseline is bugs.
I've noticed
I have developed. Yeah.
Move over, Math. This girl loves bugs.
Tell me more about the beetles and the snails because I need to know.
Do you miss the snails now that you have fake grass?
I do miss them. I saw one in my new backyard, but I do miss the snail salon. I do miss having a backyard that was full of snails. They made me so happy. They're so cute. One of the things that really helped me during, the healing process and spending time, not in complete solitude, but just like slowing down and being present, was noticing the world around me, which I think is a difficult thing to do to begin with in New York City, with the privilege to be able to do that. And I've always kind of been fascinated by animals and bugs, but I noticed the world around me more, and I was seeing the bugs everywhere. And then for whatever odd reason, I'm scared of spiders, so I was seeing those guys everywhere. But tell me if this is boring you, because I can hear myself talking from outside myself. I'm like, shut up on the bug. But I don't know. It's long story longer. I became obsessed with bugs, and I just started, there's this app called iNaturalist for citizen scientists, and it's so nerdy. I love it.
You're a citizen scientist.
I am a citizen scientist. Damn it. I love science. You take pictures of like bugs, animals, plants, fungi,
Okay. I don't
We
know.
said fungi.
I say fungi.
Mushrooms. Okay.
Silly.
Shrooms.
Take pictures. Fungi. Okay. Yeah. Take pictures of the shrooms. And then it helps scientists catalog things that they otherwise wouldn't be able to keep track of because there's only so many scientists in the world. So that has been a fun little side hobby for me. And you would be shocked to learn how wild Brooklyn actually is.
I believe it. I watch a lot of nature shows with my kids, and we touch a lot of bugs.
Yeah. Have they done a city one?
There was one we watched where it was, I think, like different national parks, and they went to Central Park, which was kind of fun. So,
Do you guys get a lot of stuff up there?
bugs?
Yeah.
Many bugs.
Yeah.
So much nature. I think what you're talking about, yours is bugs, but mine is now birds. Like, I don't know when this happened, but I'm obsessed with the birds. You reach a certain every morning, I get my little espresso and I sit on my deck and I'm just waiting for the morning dove. And then, and then I talk to look, I think it's the slowing down thing and being present because there's nothing else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look, okay, people give middle-aged and above people a hard time about these things, but I think it's beautiful. I think that the reason why older people get into that kind of stuff is because we have an appreciation for the world around us more because we got all the crap out of our system when we were younger,
Truth. Absolutely.
Good enough partying for like 5 people and maybe a period of a year.
Now I just want to go outside and look at the moon and get to bed at a decent time. That's the goal now. Yeah. Erica's got some queer quickies for you.
These are rapid fire questions. You can't think too hard about it.
Problem there. Yeah.
Are you ready? First celebrity crush.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I do remember being very sexually attracted to Joan Cusack in Addams Family Values.
Oh, wow.
She was so evil. That explains so much about you, Anna.
So much. All right. What's the first queer bar you ever went to?
Oh. Like as an out queer person or just in general?
In general. Also, were you going to queer bars before you were out?
Kind of. I was like pseudo out in college. I think I started, I've always been out in my own brain, but like, I think when I was in college was the first time I realized like, maybe like this could actually be a thing that lives outside of my head. And my friend Maddie brought me we went to Pyramid, R.I.P. Pyramid.
R.I.P.
And we also went to the TAWK.
Oh, what a name.
I did get pulled into in one of those bars. It was not Pyramid, but in one of those bars in that area, I got pulled into the front room. And I don't know if you know what a Prince Albert is, but I had one of those put into my face until they realized that I was, in fact, a lady.
Not interested.
And then I got promptly kicked out.
Wow. Okay. What's the one stereotype about queer women that you secretly love?
Carabiners.
Carabiners.
I forgot about carabiners until you just mentioned it.
What?
So handy.
How?
So handy and helpful.
They're handy. I use one daily on my keychain.
Yeah, I have them on my keychain.
Do you clip your Nalgene to it as well?
I clip it to the grocery cart. When I go grocery shopping, don't want to lose my keys.
You clip your keys to the grocery cart?
I would leave them.
I clip it right to the top.
Okay.
That's a recipe.
Well, grow the fuck up, ladies, and keep your keys where you can see them.
I don't lose my keys.
I don't have a pocket. I have a bag full of crap.
So you're telling me there's less of a chance that you would lose your keys by placing it on an object outside of your person?
Yes, because I'm pushing the grocery cart around. They're clipped to it, and so I have to unlock the car. Beep, beep.
No, I'm with you, and I'm with you.
Okay, well, fuck you and fuck you.
Okay,
You'll all see.
What is your queer superpower?
Well, it's not gaydar because I can never tell.
Sam thinks literally every person we've ever met is gay.
What is my? I know you said not to think too hard about this, but I don't know. I think I have really good taste in music, in art, in movies, in culture.
Yeah.
Culture.
Sense of humor. Yeah, I feel like queer people have had to adopt a sense of humor. So I think that is.
All right. What makes you go from 0 to unhinged?
Oh, God. I was just thinking about this the other day. Okay. There's a few things. And this was a problem living in New York City, but I hate loud neighbors. I hate unnecessarily loud neighbors. Like, I hate how thin the walls are between buildings when there should be, there should be insulation and there's not. I'm getting more chill about that though as I go on, and I'm just realizing maybe it's just because I'm older now and I was that person, so I can't really mad about it.
Yeah, I remember, was it Blair's apartment or your apartment or both of your apartments way back in the day down in the East Village having we were all drunk on the roof and this old lady opened her window and looked down on us and yelled at us. Blair was like, "Fuck you, fucking stupid bitch."
Meanwhile, she was probably 35.
Yeah. I feel like that's very Blair.
I will say we had a party there once and we had a backyard and we were being super loud and then it spilled up onto the roof and I actually left this party to go to I left a party at my own apartment to go to another party and then came back. And at some point during that time, people had gone upstairs and were throwing glass off the roof, like glass bottles. And someone wrote in lipstick all over the mailboxes. So the next morning, I'm passed out. Kate bursts into my door and goes, "Wake up, we're getting evicted."
Oh my God.
Like, what? It's like the worst way to wake up in the entire world.
And you have a hangover.
Did you get evicted?
We did not get evicted. And did I really care that much? No.
Okay. Doesn't have to be directly queer. Could be queer adjacent. But best queer movie or show? Past, present, doesn't matter.
I never watched The L Word. Because
it does not hold up.
It does not?
No.
You heard it here first.
What is yours?
I don't know.
Fellow Travelers for me.
That was so fucking depressing.
But I think The Kids Are All Right was an incredible movie. I thought
it was so good and it pissed me off so fucking much. But it was so good. You're right. What do you love about it?
It's so well acted. It's so well written. The story is probably, unfortunately, very relatable for a lot of people.
Yes.
It's devastating. I don't know. I sometimes I really like devastating things.
Anna, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Unseen. I had so much fun talking to you about math and bugs and boobs and all the things.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a pleasure. I love talking to you both. And love this podcast.
Thank you. We
love
you.
Thank you.
If you like today's episode, you can watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe. Huge thanks to Anna Maltezos. We had such a great time having you on the pod today, and thanks for listening to Unseen. You're listening to Unseen. We're a home for queer millennial voices. No fame, no filters, no perfection required. We celebrate queer millennials with stories to tell, wisdom to share, and voices that deserve to be heard. This is a space where real life, messy, hilarious, and full of heart is always worth sharing. Watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.